Brilliant. Okay, cool. So my name's Neil Brown. I represent an organisation called Stopwatch. If you don't know Stopwatch, we've been basically doing our work around the police, managing and observing the police stop and search for some time. In fact, since 2010, in response to the unprecedented increases in the stop and searches, that's when we sort of come to power. We're one of the leading voices on stop and search and disproportionate policing. And we're structured around 3 subgroups that focus on research, policy and advocacy, legal activism, and youth and community engagement. Now, what we do, we promote effective, accountable and fair policing and inform the public about their use around stop and search. We develop and share research on stop and search and alternatives, and organise awareness raising events and forums, and provide legal support on challenging stop and search. So we've got many lawyers, we've got connections with really good lawyers, bona fide lawyers, and any time the public has any encounter with the police that they're not happy about, we would encourage the public to contact us, and we would help you get in touch with bona fide lawyers that can help you with whatever incident that you might have suffered. Now, just to give you a bit of a background on some of the police powers, I know Ken's also dropped some bits around that, but I just wanted to share this with you. The police have got over 19 stop and search powers that they can exercise at any time. Now, many of these are under the Section 1 PACE, which provides the police with the powers to stop and search a person or vehicle where they believe there is reasonable grounds to suspect that they'll find forbidden items, including offensive weapons and stolen articles. Now, some of these powers require officers to base their decisions on the following main reasons, which is the reasonable grounds of suspicion, where it's likely that they'll find an offending item such as drugs or a weapon. Stop and account, which allows officers to ask questions about who and what you are doing in the area which you're stopped. And we've got the Section 60, which the police are abusing right now, which allows officers to search anyone in a specific area. So the controversy around stop and search. Now, Black and ethnic communities, we've suffered long enough, and we know that we are disproportionately experiencing stop and search and police violence for decades, with many of us experiencing high levels of distress resulting in psychological trauma, which Ken just touched on. And I can tell you now, from the calls and emails that we receive, this is real. This is real. The trauma is real. Our communities are feeling it, and just like Ken said, this is felt energetically. People are being stopped and searched and going home to their families, and sometimes the families don't even know how to speak to them, how to give them the space to air how they're feeling around their stop and search, because it's hard to speak to someone and to comfort them when they've been traumatized by a police force that are there to protect us. So I just wanted to show you the depths of the trauma, not only the depths of the trauma, also the history of where this trauma stems from, and the abuse that we are suffering out here. So I'll just run this clip. I hope you enjoy it. It's just a minute or two long, so. Man, every time I watch that, and it's just a short clip, but every time I watch it, I feel the pain, you know. And just like Ken said, this runs really, really deep. This is years and years and years of suffering. And my parents have gone through it, their ancestors have gone through it. And, you know, we're sitting in these spaces now having the same conversations that was probably going on about 20, 30, 40 years ago. And it's still happening. Granted, there's many of us, many organizations out here, like on this platform now, that are doing great work. But we need the community. We need the community to jump in. I would urge you guys to join any organizations like this that are doing great works. We need people. The more people out here, you know, fighting this and making this known, putting these platforms on, the better, really. We need to definitely highlight what's going on. And also, the only way, really, we're going to make the changes happen is by using our voice. And this is what Stopwatch is about. We're about giving the voice to the community, amplifying the community's voice, and at the same time, building resilience within the community so we can basically do the fight that's needed out here. So in regards to Stop and Search, I'll drop this acronym in. This is an acronym that we use. Now I do youth workshops and deliver workshops around this as well. So I delve a lot deeper into this, but I just wanted to give you this acronym to help you try to remember, you know, some actions around Stop and Search. So we call it the SEARCH acronym. Obviously, it goes without saying, when you're stopped and searched, we must try to remain calm. I know it's hard. I know it's really, really hard, but we must remain calm. Now, we can get angry, but we need to be able to control that anger, you know. I always tend to use the term, I don't really call these Stop and Search know your rights, because I always say that it doesn't matter how much rights you know, the police will always abuse them if they have a chance. So the main thing is, what I try to do is I like to call it self-defense. This is like self-defense classes. We need to know basically what we're going up against. And once we know the tools on how to exercise our rights, then we'll be a bit more confident in what we're saying to the police and, you know, during these encounters. So stay calm, remain, have eye contact when you're speaking to the officers, ask them questions, ask them many questions. Granted, you shouldn't even really be asking that much questions, because the police should be telling you exactly what's going on. But I would say the onus is on you to ask the police the questions. This way you can hold them to account. I would ask you to record and receipt what's going on. When I say record, you can use your phone, you can use notes, your voice notes, but mainly that's really for you to make sure that when you go away from the situation, you've got something to read back on and say, right, this is definitely what happened. This is how I'm going to put my complaint in. Remain confident during the search encounter, and to hold the police to account. So when they do arrest you, or so when they do stop and search you, they would give you a slip, the same slip that Ken was just speaking about, and it's with that slip there that you would use to make the complaint against the police. So when the police do stop you, we would say that although the police should ask you, you know, tell you the reasons why they're stopping you, sometimes they don't. And like I say, the onus really is on us to make sure that we ask the police the correct questions. Not only does it show the police that, you know, you're exercising your powers, but it also lets the police know that, you know, you're not going to go down like you're not going to go down like no sucker, basically. You know, you're going to ask the right questions, and you're going to make sure that, you know, you're going to let the police know that, you know, that you're resilient in what's going on. So the four main questions you should be asking the police is, why are you stopping me? You need to know why the police are stopping you. And they should give you the reasons behind it and the legal power that they're using to stop you. Again, what are you looking for? So when the police stop you, they're stopping you for a reason. You need to ask them, what are they hoping to find, you know, if they search you. Like Ken said, they display the pip on their shoulder. So you'd ask them, who are you? And that would be, you know, you can find that out by the pip on their shoulder. But like I said, they should tell you who they are and how you can follow up with a complaint should you need to. Also, you need to know what station they're from. Because if you're making a complaint, you need to know what station that the police officers are coming from. In regards to holding the police to account, we've got a YStop app. We've got an app that we run in conjunction with an organisation called Release. And this app is an app that helps you hold the police to account. I'll let this young man introduce the app and let you guys know a bit about it.
Being stopped and searched is frustrating. I've been treated unfairly, rudely, and sometimes I'm not even sure if what the police did was legal. The thing is, I've never complained about it. The process is long, and I don't see a point in complaining if it is the police themselves that are going to look into it. That's why we created YStop. It is a stop and search app that allows us to monitor the police in two ways, by recording and reporting. If you are being stopped and searched, it allows you to record video of the police and send it immediately to YStop. You then have two choices: report it only to us or to the police and we get a copy of it too. Then we will check if a lawyer is needed. Use the map to pinpoint exactly where the search took place and fill out the survey. Most of the information needed would be on the receipt or can be found using the reference number that the officer should give to you. That's why it's really important to collect yours. If you're reporting only to YStop, you can even do this anonymously. But be aware, no one can contact you if we think that support or legal action is needed against the police. Go to settings to put your contact details in. Every report sent in tells us what's really happening on the street. There you go. A quick, easy, and useful way to monitor the police and hold them to account. We know that young people don't like the way we've been stopped and searched. And we know that sometimes the police aren't always doing as they should. But now we have a tool to prove it. The police like to say that no one complains about stop and search. Well, that's all about to change now.
Before I end here, I just wanted to say in regards to the police complaints and, you know, the encounters that you have with police. Now, every workshop that I deliver, I stress that it's important for us to make complaints about the police. The same way Ken introduced the Go Wisely that the police use, it's important for us also to go wisely in these encounters. And we need to follow up and make complaints about any treatments that we feel that the police are, you know, if the police are treating us the way that we don't want to be treated, we need to make that known. And the only way to make that known is to make complaints. Now, granted, not much happens with these complaints in terms of, you know, the police getting reprimanded. However, we make a lot more hard work for the police. And over time, the amount of complaints that will build up on these tables will prove a lot more work for the police to do. And I'm sure, you know, with a lot more complaints, there's going to be a lot more changes that will happen. And also this fight, just to make it clear, this fight is not a black thing. It's not a white thing. Although, you know, many black people are being targeted, let me say, this affects everyone. So I would say to please join the good organizations that are out here doing the work. Yeah, and you know, get your hands dirty, man. We need as much people as we can have. So you can contact Stopwatch and any of the contact details there. I will drop a link in the chat group in regards to the YStop app and some other material that I feel might be beneficial to anyone. And that will conclude my presentation. Thank you.